Welcome to Pass the Turn. This is another Tabletop Tuesday segment, and today it's just going to be a bit of a discussion episode. We've got a lot of stuff happening outside of the realm of our channel at the moment, so a lot of our guys are moving out, including myself, and that's where a lot of our time is going. So getting people together to record board games is difficult enough as is. So today it's just going to be a discussion video on a game coming out soon, which I intend to fully and utterly pick up as soon as it comes out. We're talking about the Dungeons and Dragons Adventure System game. So if you're a board gamer and you're familiar with that particular line of games from WIZKIDS, it includes the Wrath of Ashardalon, the Castle Ravenloft, Legend of Drizzt, Temple of Elemental Evil, and the Tomb of Annihilation games. And they are based on the popular IP of Dungeons and Dragons. And it's like a cooperative dungeon crawl type game where you choose a character. That character comes with his own little deck of cards, or you can mix and match from other people's classes. It's really good, really good cooperative game, and quite tough as well in some scenarios. It's scenario driven, but there is a campaign system as well, which you can work through. You can even create your own scenarios, which is what me and the guys love doing when we really got into this. And we'll probably revisit that again at some point, just to show you how we used to play. We used to incorporate the dungeon tiles that you could buy from Wizards of the Coast with the actual core game itself to create our own stories and our own adventures, and that's what I really like about this game. It is very customizable, but it also does have a lot of pre-generated scenarios that you can just delve into straight away with the custom characters that you get in the box. Now, the game that's coming out soon, which is another addition to this line, is the Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage board game. Overview. Prepare to adventure through Undermountain in search of glory and riches. Release date April 2019. In the city of Waterdeep rests a tavern called the Yawning Portal, named after the gaping pit in its common room. At the bottom of this crumbling shaft is a labyrinth dungeon known as the Undermountain, domain of the mad wizard Hallister Blackcloak, who has seeded his lair with monsters, traps, and mysteries. As an adventurer in the Dungeons & Dragons Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage board game, explore Undermountain in search of treasure while navigating through numerous traps and ominous monsters. So what you get in this particular box, you get 42 single-coloured miniatures. So 42 miniatures, that's ridiculous. You can get so much out of that, whether you're playing this actual game or just using it for other games. You know, 42 miniatures is awesome. You get 5 heroes. They come with their own little hero tile, which has all their abilities and stats and stuff on. You got 4 villain tiles, which are like boss battle tiles. So you got each villain or each boss has their own tile as well, their abilities on. A rule book, an adventure book. So the adventure book contains all of the scenarios that you can use in the Dungeons and Mage board game. The rule book is just the rule book. You get 20-sided die, standard with D20s, Dungeons and Dragons. You get 40 interlocking dungeon tiles. So those like little puzzle pieces that you discover as you go through the dungeon. You get 5 double-sized interlocking special tiles. So they're like special rooms or special areas in the game that you go to, rather than just drawing them off the top of the stack. 225 cards. So this could include your hero's abilities. It could include spells. It could include items and equipment. It could include monster behavior, boss behavior, traps, anything. You know, 225 cards is a lot. I mean, to add that to the games that we've already got here in the studio is quite a lot of detail, a lot of content, and over 300 tokens. So tokens are stuff like, wound tokens, EXP, coins. God knows what is going to be in this game. But what's new to this game is that players can now get to level 4 with their character progression and gain even more powers. So in the previous games, the other 5 that I mentioned earlier, you could only venture to level 2. Because again, it's not like the D&D role-playing game where you can go up to level 20. It is very much a cooperative board game experience rather than an RPG setting, but you can customise that how you wish. But in this game, they are expanding it to upgrading to level 4, which is awesome. So you can make that game longer if you wish, by the looks of it. You've got environment cards that get replaced when a new environment card is drawn. So again, it's like a global effect, environments and weather and all that sort of stuff, I imagine, would be included within that particular deck. And Bane or Boon cards. Some effects will cause a draw of these cards, telling you to resolve their Bane or Boon effect. So similar to Eldritch Horror, I expect, which you'll probably see in a previous video that I did. So again, following in the path of the other critically acclaimed D&D board games, Dungeons & Mage features multiple scenarios, challenging quests, and gameplay designed for single-player or cooperative group of 2 to 5 players. The Waterdeep Dungeons & Mage Adventure System board game, that's a long-ass name though, isn't it? Features new environment, Bane and Boon cards, as well as trap and spell decks that premiered in Tomb of Annihilation for even more exciting gameplay content. So, very much looking forward to this game. You've got 2 versions as well you can purchase. You've got the standard edition, which retails about $79.99, so probably in the UK, probably about 50-60 quid, I imagine. That's the standard single-coloured miniatures version. But then there's also a version for pre-painted miniatures. So if you're not much of a painter, you can opt for this particular box, which is about MSRP $159.99, or about £110, £120 for UK. And that comes with all of the 42 miniatures that you've got in the box pre-painted for you. So you can just get them out of the box and use them at their full aesthetic purposes and value. So that's really, really good. If they're anything like the miniature paint jobs in the Dungeon Command sets, Dungeon Command was like a little mini game of Dungeons and Dragons where 2 armies pitted off against each other, but you could use the miniatures in these games for this Dungeons and Dragons Adventure System board game as well. And if the paint jobs are anything like those, because they came pre-painted, then they're pretty good. Let me just see if I can grab one actually, a pre-painted miniature from one of those games. So obviously this is one of the games, Temple of Elemental Evil. I kept the box, but everything is pretty much all mixed together. So let me just see. I think this is the box full of enemies, like enemy miniatures, I think. Yes, it is. So many. So if I just give you an example of what came painted in Dungeon Command, this is probably the quality you'll be able to expect from the WIZKIDS miniatures if you were to grab them from the... So you've got a Horned Devil there. Horned Devil, so the detail is pretty good. And these came in the Dungeon Command set, and they are very much out of print now. Dungeon Command, I managed to pick those up when they were still fairly cheap. This is another one that's painted from Dungeon Command. A troll. So again, you can expect quite a decent paint job. Here's an Earth Guardian. So you can probably expect quite a decent paint job, and these are Dungeon Command miniatures. But again, I think that was from, I'm not sure if they were from WIZKIDS or not, but Dungeon Command was a D&D property, so I can expect that the paint job will be at least as good as these, and these are fine. These are really fine. Got a vampire there, look. I'm not sure if you can see that. But yeah, Copper Dragon. Copper Dragon, he's got like his wings green as well, shaded. But yeah, if the paint jobs are as good as any of that, you'll be laughing really. I'll show you one more. Here's a troll, fully painted troll. But I'm curious as to see what monsters are going to be in the. Oh, I'll show you this as well. I'll show you that as well. Skeletal Dragon. Look at that. Draco Lich, I think it's called, off the rock. I'm just teasing you now because all these are pretty much out of print. So, but yeah. Oh my god, just getting that, all those enemies. Oh, excuse me. Just getting all those miniatures out of the box just makes you want to delve into that game again. It's just ridiculous. We had so much fun with it as well, and games used to go on so long, and you don't have to have that DM because you're playing the map as such. So yeah, very much looking forward to that game. On WIZKIDS, I think it's a mistype, but it says release date April 2018, but I'm pretty sure that's this year, so not this month, next month. So I'm very much looking forward to that game and what comes inside it. But it's awesome. It's an awesome set of games. So thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know if you're interested, or you've played any of the Adventure System board games, or whether you've experimented with it yourself and made your own custom campaigns or scenarios, please let me know in the comment section below. The comment section below, if you've played it or what your thoughts are on it, and whether you're interested in the Dungeons & Mage expansion for this. Well, it's actually a standalone game. Every game in this set is standalone, but I sort of class it as an expansion because I just like to mix everything together. But yeah, I mean, there's also a book on this as well. Dungeons & Mage book as well, aren't there? Dungeons & Mage adventure book. I think somewhere. 28 quid from Blackwell's bookstore, I expect. Yeah, there's also a book for it as well. So I think that only came out recently as well, didn't it? I remember watching something on YouTube about the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and basically it's just a huge labyrinth, but every room of the Mad Mage's dungeon is different. So you could walk into like a water elemental plane, then walk into something completely and utterly different, maybe a corrosive, acidic like environment, and then you could move into sort of lava environment. I mean, it's just, with regards to the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I think it is extremely random. And you know, every room is meant to be a different challenge or a different experience. So hopefully, that's what I heard on this video. Anyway, I can't remember who did the video. Maybe it was Nerdarchy who did it. I can't remember who did it, but they were explaining that every single room is going to be a different challenge or different experience. So hopefully that comes across in the board game. I mean, there's only so much you can do with a board game, but still, very much like this game, very much looking forward to it. And if you are, then definitely leave a comment on your thoughts in the section below, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button to keep up to date with all of our geeky content. Every Tuesday is a tabletop discussion or game or playthrough, unboxing. Every Monday we've got Magic the Gathering videos, unboxings, product reviews and gameplay. And on every other Wednesday at the moment we go through our Dungeons & Dragons role-playing campaign, which is a homebrew campaign run by our resident DM Leo. So tune in every other week for that. And I play a lizard folk samurai in that as well, if you're interested. We've also got an elven warlock paladin sort of guy. We've got a swashbuckling halfling and a dragonborn sorcerer as well in that particular campaign. And I'll put a little box on the side here, or somewhere on the side here in the ether, where you can go and check out the first video in that series. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time.